The new Flat Rate Podcast.
The new flat rate!
For contractors ready to boost tickets, simplify business, and gain freedom. Today we sat down with Alyssa McCoy, the Market Development Manager at Owens Corning. And now, your host, Danielle Putnam.
Hey there, my name is Danielle Putnam, President of the New Flat Rate. And today I'm hanging out with Alyssa McCoy, the Market Manager. Help me out with your title here.
Market Development Manager, but really business development, right?
Yes, I love it. Okay. With Owens Corning. And so, Alyssa, welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, Danielle. I'm very excited to be here today. Represent Owens Corning, represent the AirCare contractor program, which is something all HVAC contractors can get involved in. So I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for the invitation. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I work for Owens Corning. I've been with the company for 5 years now. I have a bit of a unique background, having come from our human resources function. So I was a wee old intern with Owens Corning. I was in college. They came to my career fair. I went to Ohio University.
No way.
OU, oh yeah. So I went to, they came to my career fair. You know, it was pretty straightforward. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So went in for human resources. I knew I was passionate about people. So I went in for HR. Was an intern with them, went through their development program. So they moved me around to a bunch of different states, inclusive of South Carolina. I lived in Atlanta, and then they took me to their headquarters, and I became HR business partner for the vice president, who's actually over the business that the AirCare program falls into. So he's one of our few VPs of all of insulation inside of Owens Corning. And it actually was contractor interactions that made me spark a passion for sales and jump over to this role that I have today. So I think it was last summer 2024. It was about actually April. We had our national AirCare meeting with all of our AirCare contractors. And at that time, I was the HR business partner supporting all of the employees like myself who support our contractors who are in the roles, in these sales roles. And I was there with contractors, and I was just having the best time connecting with them, hearing their stories. They all are these amazing entrepreneurs. Some have accumulated businesses. Some have started it from the ground up. Some married into it, you know. So hearing all these stories and making connections, having so much fun. And the vice president pulls me aside and says, "Have you ever considered sales?" And
that's actually like the best compliment, right?
Yes. So I'm thinking, oh, he's complimenting me, he's being nice, right? Like, thank you, I appreciate that. And then, you know, that's the weekend sales meeting. We come back on Monday, and the sales leaders, the VP and my boss pulled me aside, and they were like, "Hey, well, we were serious. If if you want to put sales somewhere in your career path, let us know. We would support that." And after that, we had this role that I'm in today, it was posted, and it's inclusive of my hometown, Las Vegas, is in the sales territory. So I thought, this is a little serendipitous. Let me go for it. So that took me to this role today. I moved from Ohio to Las Vegas back home and started working my sales territory, supporting the AirCare program. So now my customers are contractors.
Fantastic. What a great story. Starting at like being recruited from college, and you're a really great success story. I can tell already. We just met today, and I'm so excited to be meeting you. But for them to go to a career fair at college and to find somebody that has talent, they surely saw that in you. And then you started, as an intern and kind of began to climb your way up, and now in sales and having a relationship with contractors. So would you say you're in the home services industry?
Absolutely, yes. So my contractors that are involved in the HVAC contractor AirCare
Hmm.
program,
Hmm.
so they are all contractors. They are
Hmm.
all going into homes every single
Yep.
day, many calls a day.
Hmm.
I'm focused more on the West, but our program is national.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. We are we are forefront and center in the trades. I'm
Yep.
developing a very strong passion for the trades in this role that
Hmm.
I have. Having a
That's
good
what I was
time.
wondering. That's what I was looking for because I know that you guys are home services and very pivotal. But to be able to see you getting passionate about the industry is awesome because for years, people are like, how can we attract more women and bring more younger generations into the industry? And so all of a sudden, you're just a great case of somebody who was invited in, and now it looks like you've really found your home.
Yeah, no, it's I agree. And
Hmm.
I think I've always craved a little more being with the
Hmm.
frontline employees and frontline workers. When I was in
Yeah.
HR, I was the HR manager for our amazing employees on the line making our products.
Mm.
And so you can't really get any more frontline than the
Yeah.
trades. I
Hmm.
mean, people don't realize, but these are heroes and she heroes,
Yeah.
coming in and making sure that people have water and
Yeah.
air
Yeah.
conditioning and that they're comfortable at home. I mean, we're
Hmm.
spending 80% of our time in the house. So
Hmm.
it's those are the people that I want to be interacting with because
Hmm.
those are the people making sure our communities are safe.
Hmm.
So I do feel very passionate about making
Hmm.
this brand of HVAC, the trades, something
Yeah.
inviting for all people of all walks
Hmm.
of life. Like there is a
Hmm.
place for anyone and everyone in the
Hmm.
trades.
There really is. And what's so great is you can do what you love. You can develop your skill, you can become an expert, and it takes time to become an expert. Like expertise is developed over time. You have to have so many different scenarios. And here, every home that you go into is different. It's a different learning experience. There's different obstacles each time. And so the expertise is developed and it's just the best place for people that want to climb in their career path. I absolutely love it. So I'd like to talk about insulation, building revenue. Is it an overlooked opportunity, do you feel, or are more and more contractors doing insulation as well? HVAC contractors, let me specify.
So, we know how it is, right? HVAC contractors are now becoming
Hmm.
contractors. So, if you're doing HVAC, odds are really high you're considering other streams.
Yeah.
That could be plumbing, electrical, aeroseal,
Hmm.
spray foam. So, insulation, absolutely. It's overlooked, but if they
I
are
think so.
considering additional streams, they're
Hmm.
going to think about insulation because from a ROI perspective, the material cost is lower in consideration of the other jobs you're doing. The time it takes to do jobs, we're looking at an average of 2 to 3 hours for insulation,
Hmm.
versus you could be putting in equipment for like the whole day, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it's very not highly technical to the
Hmm.
point where you can easily train others who might be going through the apprentice program, newer to the
Hmm.
trades. So it's attic insulation is a great place to put those entry level HVAC contractors getting comfortable in the attic. So it's a great
Yeah.
place for a revenue opportunity. It's high margin, and then it's
Hmm.
easy for your people to do in comparison to the other jobs you're signing them up for.
Yeah. Excellent job communicating that. And when do you see contractors doing more installation? I know it's super hot in attics, for example, in the summertime. So is this something that we can pre-schedule for fall and spring? And so then all of a sudden it helps us to be more consistent year round?
Yes. You already,
Hmm.
yeah, you
That's what I would
already have
think.
it. Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a great thing for the shoulder seasons.
Hmm.
If you have a lot of season variability, I'm in Vegas. It's
Hmm.
the desert. It's
Oh yeah.
so hot in the summer.
Yeah, you can't do
Um,
it.
So in those very hot climates in the summer, yes, what people are doing is, hey, I'm taking a picture of your attic. I'm
Mhm.
showing the homeowner where they're at today. I understand that you might not necessarily care about how much insulation is in your attic because your
Yeah.
HVAC system is down and you just want it fixed. But in
Mhm.
6 months, when I come back, I want to make
Mhm.
sure I mention that again. I'm
Mhm.
educating the homeowners, right? I want to talk to them and say, hey, remember when I showed you
Mhm.
that photo? Well, are you ready to take care of that now? So it's a great
Mhm.
way to keep that communication with the homeowner
Mhm.
sustained. I
Mhm.
always train my contractors. We offer training right when they sign
Mhm.
up on how to talk to the homeowner about attic insulation, why it's important, and then how to do the actual installation of it.
Mhm.
And truly, I always tell them it's not a hard sell. We are
Mhm.
in the field to educate homeowners.
Yeah.
Once they know
Mhm.
the value is just so high that once
Mhm.
they understand the importance of it, you're scheduling that job, you're winning that job,
I
right?
like
So
that.
it just
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah. You mentioned the AirCare program being available for anybody. I feel like a couple years ago it wasn't available for everybody. Am I wrong?
A couple years ago, I mean, this program is newer, 4 to 5
Mhm.
years, right? We've spread nationally. We've increased the numbers of market development managers, i.e., Alyssa,
Yeah.
joining the team. So we have smaller territories per person. So I think we
Yeah.
just have a little bit more focus
Awesome.
and resources.
Mhm.
That way, contractors have just more touch points with us. So I think
Mhm.
before we might have been a little bit more selective, more in our
Mhm.
pilot area, but now we're growing, we're
Mhm.
live, and truly the only real requirement for the Air Care program, other than being a great partner, is
Mhm.
having that HVAC license, just having a
Okay.
certificate of insurance as an HVAC and contractor. So that's
Yeah,
it.
which they have anyway. So,
Exactly. So if there's contracting, they can
yeah.
do it. They
Yeah.
just have to be dedicated and be okay with change. You're
Mhm.
implementing a whole new revenue stream. We're here to help you, but it
Mhm.
is hard to hold a team accountable to something completely new. So if they're up
Mm.
for the challenge, we can support them to do it.
Talk a little bit more about that because you're really hitting on a sensitive topic, which is change. It's easy to think that I've got a book here on my desk right now. Change is good. You go first.
The second, you be the
Because
pioneer, though.
yeah, yeah. Because people, it's easy to say that, yeah, we know that we need to change, but people don't like to change. And it's hard to get a team to change. And so for a contractor, an owner, a business manager to be like, okay, yeah, we need to add some new revenue opportunities for our company, or we need to provide more work opportunities for our team. Whatever it is that we need to do, they're looking for that solution. They find AirCare, they find Owens Corning, they're excited to do this. And then the technicians have some resistance because maybe the technicians are a little insecure or uncomfortable if they haven't worked with the product before, maybe, right? Or maybe they feel like they're too busy doing other priorities or something, right? So whatever the resistance could be coming from, it's easy for us to be like, hey, yeah, just change, just add. So you hit it right on the head, the nail right on the head, very well. Do you have any stories of contractors that you have seen to start use your services to join the Air Care program? And did they have resistance and how did they overcome that? Because I think leadership plays a big role here.
Huge role, right? So, right at the beginning, when you were saying, like, yes, they get either pressure from their private equity groups or
Hmm.
they themselves want to expand their business, grow their business, and they're looking
Hmm.
for additional streams of revenue to do so, different applications that are high margin and make sense for them. So, that's when the
Hmm.
business owners and the GMs, right, they're like,
Hmm.
rah, 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 we're
Yes.
doing this thing.
Yes.
And then they put one of us
Hmm.
in front of the classroom with their manager
Hmm.
and their team, right? And now the general
Okay.
manager is removed now, like they're
Yeah.
going on behind their computer. Now it's just me, the technicians, and the manager. And
Okay.
this is the place where actual impact and change happens.
Mm.
So I think a lot of the time our general managers get excited and then they say,
Yeah.
okay, managers, go ahead, which is great. But
I
that's
love it.
where accountability
Hmm.
and making things as simple as possible comes into play.
Hmm.
So I always lean with repetition, 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 and simplicity. So when I set up the trainings with contractors, they have never done an insulation attic job before, or maybe they
Yeah.
have some years ago with a different company. But
Mm-hmm.
majority of the contractors that sign up with us have usually never done attic insulation before. They've never
Interesting.
done loose fill insulation. So
Yeah.
this is genuinely a first time for a lot
Yeah.
of technicians that we're in front of.
Yeah.
So we show videos, we
Mm-hmm.
actually go into the attic and do it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the importance there for managers
Mm-hmm.
is after it's very easy to get a team excited about
Mm-hmm.
something new,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very, very hard to establish those accountabilities with the team
It
to
is.
make those actual micro behaviors
Mm-hmm.
stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the initial new behavior that I tell all of our contractors, take a picture of that attic
Mm-hmm.
with our ruler
Okay.
and then upload it to whatever programs they're using. You know, there's many
Yeah.
brands out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's New Flat Rate they're working with,
Mm-hmm.
right, to
Mm-hmm.
upload these photos. So whatever program they're using,
Mm-hmm.
continuously do that for every single attic
Mm-hmm.
to create that muscle. So I
Mm-hmm.
tell them, what's going to be your goal, manager? 80% of all calls have to have a picture this month.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Mm-hmm.
90%? Is it
Mm-hmm.
100%? And that's where I focus with managers is
Mm-hmm.
what is the micro action you are going to hold your team accountable to? Once they
Mm-hmm.
have that, that's where our team can come in and bring the excitement, right? It's very easy to bring the excitement, but it's very hard to keep the accountability. So that's
Yeah.
really the manager, the supervisor, right over the technicians that are going in the homes is such a crucial role. And
Mm-hmm.
they have to take micro bites to get there.
Yeah. So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying let's pick something to hold the team accountable to, but not 20 things. Like
Exactly.
let's start with hey, here's the one thing that we're going to measure by. We're going to use a ruler and we're going to measure the depth of the insulation in every attic. Is that
Every single
correct? It's that
right.
simple, right?
Exactly.
And
That's
upload the
simple. That's
picture.
where you should start.
Yeah, so not and they might not have been called out for an installation job. So this is a part of the service call life cycle. This is a part of any installation life cycle, right? Just as a piece of your process. When you are in a home, you're going to upload a picture. One of the pictures you're going to upload is going to be the depth of the insulation.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is brilliant, Alyssa, because so many times as business owners, we think that we have to eat the whole elephant at one time. And then it's overwhelming. And then it's too hard. To your point, you can't hold people accountable to eating the whole elephant. But if we can just take one piece at a time, we're going to measure the depth of the insulation. We're going to upload that picture to our FSM, our field service management software, or however our company does business. Then we can hold them accountable for that. Yes, you did upload the photo. Great job. Or no, you didn't. Let's go back and get it. I like
Exactly.
that.
And once
And
they
so,
do that, it's successful. We have success
mm,
stories. I mean, I have a few contractors that are coming to mind where they had never done insulation. Now
yeah,
they're coming up on their third month of being completely sold out from a scheduling standpoint
yeah,
of installation jobs. They're
mm-hmm,
having to go to their team and say, how are we going to do more installation jobs? We're booked. So they're
mm-hmm,
adding a whole new crew, adding a
yay,
whole new truck just for installation services. And remember,
yay.
this could be some of the most high margin applications that you have in
Mm-hmm,
all of the services you offer. So
mm-hmm,
adding another full truck of insulation, 2 years later, so you have
mm-hmm,
four full crews and two trucks and two machines, and you're sold out for the whole month on one application. And that's
mm-hmm.
where I can put my apprentices to
Yep.
go from not knowing anything about how to do attic insulation to
Mm-hmm,
2.5 years later being here.
mm-hmm,
Those are the stories that we're looking for. Those are the things and the impact
mm-hmm.
that we want to have in the trade industry. This
Yeah.
is a consistent stream of revenue that gives them the
Mm-hmm,
ability. They've moved warehouses within this time to a
mm-hmm,
way bigger space,
mm-hmm,
right? And I get goosebumps talking about it. I'm like, I know I contributed, like our team contributed to making sure that their business is expanding. And that makes me so happy. So there are so many contractors that they've never done it before, and that's okay because now they get to hang out and go to the sales meeting with this network of other contractors that 2.5 years ago, they also didn't do it. And now they can't fill their schedules booked,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they get access to that network. And I think that's another big added benefit is learning from your peers that are not in direct competition with you. We
Mm-hmm.
know as in the trades, like that's why we sign up for these industry groups, right? That we're all
Yes.
sponsoring and are a part of, get connected with. So
Mhm.
it's another one of those connections that can help them have some free consulting with people who have done it before.
I can't believe you've mentioned it multiple times. How many have never done insulation? And so this
Yes.
is a very great opportunity, and it's not hard to get started. So the new revenue opportunity, they've never done it. You can put your apprentices in there, but I am surprised at you saying so many have never. So more than 50% of the people come to you
To
have never
me, I
done
would
it.
say from a West perspective,
Hmm.
absolutely. When you go west of Texas,
Yeah.
it's a little more rare. Now, in the East Coast, they might have a little bit more product transitions, or maybe
Hmm.
they're dabbling in one piece like flex duct replacement and then going into loose fill, or vice versa. Or maybe they've been doing it, but they're having to go to Home Depot and rent a machine where
Hmm.
when they join our program, we can give them a machine. So different chapters they could be in, but when you go west, it is seen personally in my experience and the coworkers
Yeah.
I have in the west, a lot of people have never done it before.
Yeah.
And those are the best stories.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I love it. Well, and we're there's so much alignment here, and I love what you're saying. I'm so excited that you're bringing it to our contractors and our audience, because if we can focus on increasing revenue, then we can help grow the business from a position of strength. And so we're constantly saying, hey, with the new flat rate product, let's use a menu so that the homeowner can choose a higher option of service. They can choose to buy more, then you could sell them and not give the sales pressure to the technician. What you're saying is, hey, there's a whole new revenue path opportunity right here that is overlooked, and it's not hard to add on. And so we're increasing revenue. Once we can get that revenue coming in the door, then the contractors can take a breath for a minute, right? These businesses can take a breath and they can grow from a position of strength and consider, what do we need? Do we need more marketing? Do we need more team? Do we need more equipment and trucks? What do we need? But without cash flow, it's very difficult to grow your business. And so cash flows first, and you're providing very, very easy directions for how to get going there. And so I'm excited. I'm excited that AirCare is nationwide, really growing, and something that everybody can be a part of right now.
No, that was a great recap. That's exactly what we want contractors to hear when they
Hmm.
hear the name Air Care Program. I hope
Hmm.
that when they hear Air Care Program, they're hearing sustainable growth, they're
Hmm.
hearing partnership, and they're hearing let's go win. So that's exactly what it is, and that we can make it really, really simple. And I just want to highlight again, like, I know I talked about the Vegas heat, that in the
Hmm.
summer, it's hard, but also the shoulder seasons in those more seasonal areas. Let's not let go of 4 people this fall and let's add air care instead. So I
Hmm.
think that can truly be a one-for-one trade-off. So that's really on a personal standpoint why I really wish that a lot of people would hear the message of add air care. Don't let people go in the shoulder season. Have them focus on insulation in the winter.
Where do they get the leads? So if they're taking the picture every time they're on a service call and they're uploading to the system, that is definitely going to be lead gen. Are there other areas that they could get leads for these installation jobs? Insulation
Absolutely.
jobs?
Yes. So when they join our program, they become part of they get access to the Pink Panther, the Owens Corning
Hmm.
logo. So they're on all of our platforms. So let's say a homeowner goes and Googles, they want to do even an at-home application of loose fill. They put in their zip code, and anyone who is a certified Air Care member, they
Hmm.
come up. So they come up in alphabetical order. So that's a lead generation. They're listed on an exclusive searching tool that with our brand, homeowners go in there, or other HVAC companies or other
Mhm.
companies looking to get in contact with HVAC companies are going in there to search. So a trusted brand, you get to go on our platform. And then of course
Mhm.
we have a marketing team sitting here ready for them to consult with. So if
Awesome.
there's a mail merger, social media posts, a
Yeah.
commercial, decals on their trucks, wrapping trucks, and then we have partnerships with other brands. So
Mhm.
in that, they have access to a whole team of people where they can say, hey, we want to do this.
Mhm.
Their marketing team, my marketing team can work on it. And then we can do drafts and get them going, get that posted. And all of those marketing assets are free to members. Really, it's just we make the designs and we'll get it over, and then they handle the printing.
That's a big
So,
deal. Yeah, that's a great service and value add that you guys are doing. And it's a big deal. It's so difficult sometimes to figure out, well, how do I get started? What should I post about? How do I begin getting more leads for this? And you guys really have packaged this in a way that they can adopt it and do it. Can you tell me the average, how long does this installation last? And so how long average wise would we be waiting before we could possibly go and do an installation job for a customer again?
yeah, so something that is a great asset of the program to build trust with homeowners, they can
Hmm.
confidently say this is a one-time investment for the homeowner. With Owens Corning Pink product, the settling, so when you blow the loose
Hmm.
fill, you're taking it to 20 inches, 22 with other brands, you're taking it to the inches. What we're saying is these inches will stay these inches for the lifetime of the homeowner. And so it's a limited lifetime warranty. Once they sell that home, we can't keep track from documentation the owners. But if that owner stays the same, Owens Corning will pay for the labor and the products to redo that job if it were to settle on its own. The only way that our products will settle mostly is if someone went in there and pushed it down
Hmm.
physically. And if
Hmm.
that happens, they can fluff it back up with a leaf blower, with a rake, and get it back to where it needs to be. So I think they have a lifetime, one time investment with the homeowner. And so they're leaving their attic card up there. And that boom, that trust that you're building with the homeowner, they're going to call you back when they need maintenance on their system. That's for sure.
I like that. Alyssa, this yesterday, I have a 10-year-old daughter and she got a bead stuck in her ear. It's technically a bell. It's June right now. Alyssa and I are on the phone right now. It's June. And so she dressed up as Christmas for church yesterday. So she had her Christmas dress on and she had Christmas earrings with little bell. And the little bell broke off. And on the way home, the drive home from church, she's back in the backseat of the car, and she's playing with this bell and she gets in her ear and she's like moving around. And of course, it goes in her ear hole. And so she's like, Mom, I got a bell stuck in my ear. I was like, No, you don't. What are you talking about? She's like, Yeah, I do. I can hear it. I kid you not. And I do have a point for this story. So, of course, I'm freaking out. You just got a bead or a bell and it's shaking in your head, stuck in your ear. Like, this is the first time this has happened in our family. So, I'm freaking out. My husband runs to the store and gets all the products he can, like anything that could suction that thing out, he gets it. We've got her down there with the vacuum cleaner. We're dumping peroxide in there. We're using tweezers. We're using nose Fritas, everything we can to try to get this bead out. We're on the phone with everybody that we know and we cannot get the bead out. So freaking out, and it's a Sunday afternoon. All we can think is we must go to the ER. We have to go to the ER. And then of course, all we're thinking is that's going to be expensive. Like ER is expensive, right? And so I load up my daughter in the car and start driving around the block on my way to the ER. But then I remembered that somebody in my neighborhood works at the ear, nose, and throat office here in town. And so I swung through their driveway, knocked on the door. I was like, "What do I do? My daughter's got a bead stuck in the ear," as if it was the end of the world. Because to me, it was,
It
right?
was, yes, I'd be freaking out.
It was to me, right? So he says, just call our office, talk to the on call doctor, and he'll tell you what to do. Don't go to the ER right now. Here's the point of my story. I call the doctor, and you know what that doctor did? He put me at ease, Alyssa. Danielle, you called the right place. Don't worry, we can help you with that. And homeowners so often they're freaking out, whether it's insulation, whether it's service and repair, whether it's equipment. I'm not going to be able to afford this. Oh no, we're so uncomfortable, or whatever the problem is. As professionals, our job is to put you at ease. Alyssa, you called the right place. I can help you with that. Don't worry, we've got some options to take care of it. Don't worry, we've got this insulation with a lifetime warranty, lifetime value for you as the homeowner. And we're going to get you taken care of. And you're not ever going to have to worry about this again. And so this doctor on the phone with me yesterday, he's like, it can't go anywhere. It's not going further in her head. She's not hurting herself. She's not in pain. People have beads in their ears for months and don't even know about it. He says, don't go to the ER. Just come into my office at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'll just pop it right out. Where do you think I was this morning at 8? So we go in there at 8 this morning, and he's got this tool, and it's a long silver, metal stainless steel tool with a little tiny hook on the end, and he's got his goggles. What are you going to call it? Microscope. And so he just leans her back. He's asking her questions. Where does she go to school? Uses his microscope, puts that tool in there with a little hook, and just pulls it right out as if it was, nothing. It was nothing. She didn't even know he pulls it out. So he pulls it out, and then he just shows it to her. He's like, did you want this back? She's like, no, no. And I was like, no, we never want to see that again. But he not only saved the day, here we are, and I am telling you and the whole world how awesome Dalton Ear, Nose, and Throat is, because they saved us, but they put us at ease. And that's what it's easy to forget that HVAC contractors, home service professionals, we are professionals, and we have the tools and the equipment that our homeowners need to keep them safe, to give them peace of mind. I'm so thankful that we stopped, using the vacuum cleaner yesterday. Today, the doctor's like, well, her eardrum has a little bit of bruising on it. I'm like, I'm sure it does. Because we were like stuffing everything in there that we could to try to avoid the ER. And homeowners do this all the time. We try to self-fix things all the time. But when we finally call the professional, it's the professional's job to put the homeowner at ease. You called the right place. I can help you with that. And don't worry, our partner with Owens Corning, we're able to provide you the very best insulation that your attic could ever see. And that's what I love so much about our industry, is that's what we do for homeowners. But I could not slip that story in there.
Absolutely, you had to. I was on the edge of my seat. Well, and that's exactly what I tell in my trainings with my contractors. That's exactly what I talk about. Why is a homeowner calling you? Because they're uncomfortable. If they were comfortable, they wouldn't be calling you. Insulation equals added comfort. So it truly doesn't matter why a homeowner is calling. To do the due diligence of taking care of a homeowner's comfort, you better go into their attic and make sure they're properly insulated. Please at least do that. You don't have to go with Owens Corning to offer that, because every homeowner deserves that, regardless if you're looking to upsell or not. So that's what I lean with, is if you build that trust with the homeowner and just make sure you're always checking their attic insulation, they can feel at ease. Oh my gosh, the other guys didn't even check that. Well, you don't have to go with us today. I just want you to have this information. You think they're going to call you back? Absolutely, they're going to call you back.
Yes. You said it so well with hold on, let me back up. They called you with the intent to buy. So whether it was for insulation or something else, they called you with the intent to buy. And it's easy to forget that and think, oh, well, I'm not trying to sell them. Well, no, they were uncomfortable. And that's what you said so well. They're uncomfortable. And you have the ability to make them comfortable again. In my home, when we restored it, it's a 100-year-old home in the historic district in town. And so we gutted the whole thing and redid the whole thing when we moved in 7-8 years ago. But only in a quarter of the house do we do spray foam in all the walls. And those are tight boxed. So you'd think that's awesome, but it's horrific. It's not comfortable in my house. I can't believe I'm saying this on air, because the rest of the house doesn't have spray foam on the walls. And so it's too hot or too cold in that room. And we can't have, it's not equal all throughout the home. Doesn't matter about my house. It's not about me. But everybody listening in, your customers are uncomfortable with something. And so if you can ask questions and listen and get a proper diagnosis, then you can really help them to be comfortable again. And insulation is a fantastic revenue generating opportunity for bringing them that comfort.
Yes, you do not have to be part of the air care program to at least make sure your community is properly insulated. If you want to go do that with the air care emblem and have a supportive team
Hmm.
behind you, we are here for that. But please, if you're an HVAC contractor, just check their insulation so that
Yeah.
we can help the community with how uncomfortable we are in our homes.
We should be comfortable in our homes. Um, Alyssa, tell us a little bit more about you personally. What what let's see. What are you reading? How are you staying educated? Um, are you, because you're very, very, very educated on insulation and on Owens Corning and on contracting. I love it. So how are you actually staying up to date on everything and learning, and how are you self-educating? I know so many people are just doing reels and TikToks, but I'd like to hear what you do.
Yes, I will shamefully say I am not a reader. I love making friends and connections with
Mhm.
readers. That
Mhm.
is how I truly stay educated and stay up to date with what's going on, and just staying sharp. I love to have an educational conversation. Someone's
Yeah.
hosting a class, hosting a session, there's an
Mhm.
industry event. Be surround yourself with very knowledgeable people, and then you don't have to pick up a book as much. is my is my token. So truly networking, I learned so much doing things like this podcast with you, Danielle,
Mhm.
learning what are my contractors thinking about, because
Mhm.
I don't need to be an expert everywhere. I
Mhm.
just need to know what do people care about. And
Yeah.
that way I can be just in the times and
Mhm.
understand the pains and the challenges and the wins of the
Mhm.
people I'm working with and of our industry. So, for anyone who's not like a huge reader, it's hard to go into, news articles and constantly be
Yeah.
like staying up. You get so many emails once you sign up for a
I
news
know.
channel that it becomes a little overwhelming. But so I've made it a point, my one of my top development goals this year is to focus on what is my HVAC industry brand, what is my trade
Mhm.
industry brand. And so I've met amazing people with women in HVACR, part of other
Yeah.
industry groups like Clover. So going to these events and asking people questions and just soaking up all of the information. I'm new to the industry. A lot of people I'm around have been in the trades industry for a long time, and they've seen
Yeah.
cycles. They've seen things come in and fade out. So to make sure we don't fade out, I want to know what went well, what went wrong. And so I would say like that's probably the best way that I'm staying connected and educated, by keeping amazing people around me.
Yeah, it's so good. And you're genuinely curious. I can tell. Like you're excited about the trade that you're in. You're genuinely curious. You want to continue to educate yourself on the field that you're in, which is wonderful. And that's something that we can all do. So thanks for sharing that.
Oh, absolutely.
Alyssa, how can people get in touch with you, get in touch with the AirCare team? Where can they learn more? How can they sign up?
Yes, on my LinkedIn and the LinkedIn's of my coworkers, we have a link that says open to air care. So we have an air care contractor program form that's online. Just Google
Mhm.
Owens Corning Air Care Program, and you will see a link to our form. Anyone can go in and they put in, what's the name of your company? How can we get in contact with you? Our team sends that out to us based on location, and we will give you a call, a text, or an email to see how you want to talk more and learn more about air care. But I would love for people to reach out to me. So go on my LinkedIn, send me a message to connect. Happy to talk about air care with anybody. And then, of course, if you see Pink Panther anywhere at our industry events, come on over and talk to us. We are passionate about learning about the industry. Even if you're not ready to add air care today, maybe you'll be ready tomorrow, and we'll be there waiting for you.
I'll put the link in the show notes for sure.
Absolutely, yes.
Last question. Are there any common myths about insulation that you like to bust?
Yes. I love to debunk this one. So every time I come in with my product. We have it in these tubes, some samples. And the second I walk in, they're like, oh, it's going to be an itchy day, boys. We're going to be so itchy today. And now we have fiberglass. Fiberglass is so itchy. That is not true. I am here to debunk that fiberglass is itchy. It has never been the glass that makes it itchy. It's actually truly so. When you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you're going, a home improvement store, and you see a roll of insulation, if it's in the roll form, we had to put binder glue on it to make sure that it stays like a mat when you roll it out. If you are considering working with attic loose fill insulation, it's not going to be itchy because we don't want it to stay flat. So it doesn't have that binder on it. It expands 20 times the size of the bag. So we want it to be expansive. So it doesn't have those chemicals. And so it is not itchy. The worst part about an attic insulation job will be whatever they had in their attic before you got there. What you're putting into the attic is the safest thing you will deal with probably on any job that you go to in the HVAC industry. So it's not itchy. The glue is, but the glass is fine.
I'm glad I asked. That's a good answer.
Thanks. Yes.
Oh, well, Alyssa, it's been just such a pleasure getting to know you. I really look forward to seeing you in person at some industry events this fall and just continuing the conversation. So thank you for the wealth of knowledge you've shared with us today.
So much, Danielle. I really appreciate it. And if anyone wants to get connected, please do. And yes, I will be at Women in HVACR this fall, October 6th to the 8th. That's the next industry event I'm signed up for. So would love to meet more women in the industry and get connected. But thanks for having me.
Thanks, Alyssa.
If you want to learn more about the new flat rate, go to thenewflatrate.com. Lastly, if you want to fill out an AirCare contractor program form or you want to message Alyssa, go to linkedin.com/in/Alyssa-McCoy.